Okay, welcome to the stream. Today is our Sunday A-10C, the second version of the A-10 from DCS World is where we have a 23 week workshop, and we just spent the last 18 minutes kind of going through the today's class. It's going to be workshop 10 on the helmet mounted queuing system, the TDC, the SOIs, and SPIs. If you're unsure of what those are, on digitalthemepark.com, under the A10, you'll see an A10 area. You have access to a couple videos, and we use a lot of that Chuck's Guide. It has some really good information with that. And if you haven't seen the Chuck's Guide and you're working on almost every aircraft, this guy has a guide for that with a lot of pictures, which is really neat. He just does a really good job. And it's the stuff that you just need to know. Um, anyway, so yeah, this is what we're going to do. And I think for today, since we've kind of did this last week, the guys this week are going to be playing around with a lot of this stuff. I think for today, we'll be goofing around more with maybe formation flying or seeing how they're doing, kind of running around the different groups and see how all that works out. So with that, let's go ahead and launch DCS. And we're going to be doing this in VR today. And for those that are on the channel listening in, it's going to be difficult for me to see the chat and be in VR at the same time, so I apologize right now on that one. But I will try to look every couple minutes. So here we go. Okay, we're going to go into multiplayer. We have to wait for our username to pop up on the top before multiplayer is activated. Oh, well, this is interesting. I've got my name at the top. We don't have anything there, and that would be because, there we go. Okay, so I had to Alt-Tab to the DCS app before I could hit multiplayer. I didn't have it as the active window. All right, we got Digital Theme Park Server 2 has come up. You have to wait. This little icon at the very top of the screen, you have to wait till it goes solid. It's going out and grabbing all the different servers. There's about 1,000 of them, I think, right now that DCS has got going. Okay, so we have all 4 of the servers, and our training server is server 3. And we've got a small group of guys in there already. So we're going to join. Password's already entered. And now we wait. Okay, down here, Endo and I, we take the 900 series. Go into the briefing, see if we have anything pertinent. We got our tankers out there, radio frequencies, and the wind appears to be 060 at 12 knots. Clear visibility greater than 10 nautical miles. Yep, that's what it looks like. All right, and here we are. Now let's center our VR. There we go. Battery power. Let's see, is our APUs running? Come on, there we go. This is 6-4 on channel 30.00, radio check.
30.
Copy that, thank you. Okay.
Can hear you loud and clear.
User
CD is
joined your
starting up.
channel.
Alright, so let's go through the systems and get them going. We got the radios going. We'll put that to path mode. We'll need that. Alright, I keep an eye on that CDU. Right, let's turn down that.
2, what's your airspeed?
Alright, here we go.
282.
INS, alternate line, let's go fast.
One is kind of speeding up and slowing down, and I'm keeping some distance because I'm doing a lot of stuff in the cockpit and I don't want to crowding.
I think since there's an on hold, I haven't touched my throttle, so it should be about 280 right now.
Okay, let's go ahead and fire up an engine.
Yeah, I think we're both steady at 280.
We're also going to come up here and let's rearm and refuel just in case we need it. Let's put on a TGP.
Request rearming. Copy.
Alright, how we doing on the engine? Engine is starting up. Looking good.
Clear this hill, we should be able to see it finally.
Rearming complete.
Okay, working on the second engine. Acknowledge. Okay, it looks like we have a
I'm slowing down.
TBCL traffic 301, flight 300
They have a line.
series, flight of 2, taxiing to the active runway, run free, departure for the mission waypoints.
I have visual on waypoint 1.
User left your channel.
I'm gonna bank right a little bit for you left side. Looks like a helicopter.
Okay, how we doing? We're still firing up.
Yep.
Okay, we are fired up.
Okay, let's turn to waypoint 2, which is like the 04.
Okay, we put a TGP on, so we're going to reload the dismiss page. Alright, and there is our TGP.
Did you make it an SPI?
Not waypoint 2 yet, waypoint 1 I did.
You should be able to look at it, your helmet
Okay.
and make that helicopter an SPI too.
Go through another check here. The CDU. I do believe we are ready to go. Okay, one of the things I'm noticing, let me holding the brakes, and our sounds are real dim. I don't know
I
why.
turned too early. I'm ahead of you guys. I'm gonna slow up here.
Okay, let's check out, see what's going on with the sounds. So, I apologize, I'm lifting my headset. It's going to be a bit awkward here. Okay. Oh yeah, it's way, way down there. Okay, I think that's a lot better. In the stream, just let me know if you feel that the sounds of the airplane versus voice are a bit awkward. Okay, back to DCS. Okay, here we go. All right.
Tbilisi traffic 31, flight of
Queuing system is working,
runway 13, departure west.
which is pretty cool.
This is one brain fart. How do I make that waypoint my speed?
If you've got your HUD, the SOI,
All right. I think we're ready to go. Tbilisi traffic. Zoo 64 taxiing to runway 13 right, Tbilisi. Here we go. Alright, I'm going to turn off the helmet queuing system just for now. I do that with a DMS left long. Now I get a lot of people, I'll see them and they're taxiing along and they think that, okay, looks clear in front of me, so they get their head in the cockpit. And they're kind of taxiing a little more with their peripheral vision. Things can change real quick. So I recommend when you're taxiing, keep your eye on the prize. Now after saying that, I'm going to lift my headset. I'm going to check the text chat. All looks good. And take notice of the taxi speed. This is like a slow run, a jogging speed. You just don't want the plane to get away from you. You want to be able to stop real quick. And anyone that's curious, this is what we're flying today, an A-10.
Tbilisi traffic hog 901 is actually to runway 13, Tbilisi.
Nice day out today. Nice spring day. And for those that are watching, I can check the text chat now as easy as I do. Hello, I see that we have a few viewers. Welcome. If you want, make yourself known and I'll do a call out to you. Yeah, for our missions, a lot of the times we'll have very clear weather. Now we are doing something really special next week. We're going to have it as a night mission for the guys. Hey, let's see who that was. That was Rowan. I guess, Rowan, you're watching the stream. Thanks for subscribing. Really appreciate that. Okay, we're coming up on a closed runway, runway 13 or 31 left. Okay, and although it's closed, I'm going to check to make sure there's no one attempting to land on it, looking at either side. So we're going to make ourselves quick over across that that runway. Yeah, so people can make mistakes. The last thing we want is to run into them. All right, so we're clear on the right and we're clear on the left. So now I'm going to turn on my landing lights. I'm going to also turn on my anti-collision. Just another double check. Make sure that things are where they need to be. Tbilisi traffic, Zoo 64 taking off runway 13 right, departing to the south, Tbilisi. Okay, we made our radio call. Again, clear. I'm looking for any indication. I do see another aircraft out there, but it doesn't appear that he's in a landing mode, and here we go. Alright, spooling up my engines, make sure they're all equally spooled up to at least 80%. Okay, we're good. Release the brakes, full power. And we're going to have I believe a left quartering wind here, so we're putting a little bit of left rudder in. We're light, so I'm going to get this thing going here. There's that wind. Positive rate, so the gear goes up.
Tbilisi traffic, hog, number 1's entering runway 13.
And our left are up. About 10 degrees on the pitch ladder. Yeah, you feel that wind. Alright, now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to turn off my landing lights, and there's a little switch right here. Watch. Bonk. Now, what that does is that puts us totally dark. And although we're on a training training workshop today, honestly, I want the guys to start turning off their lights. Getting used to that. Yep, definitely can feel that that wind. Now, what happens if we look behind us? Oh yeah, we can see that we've been pushed a bit. Another airfield down there. Alright, I'm going to turn on the helmet mounted queuing system. Make sure we got maximum brightness there. There we go. Alright, and we are golden. Let's check our map. This A-10 really is a wonderful aircraft.
Tbilisi traffic, hog, neither 1's rolling runway 13 departure to the north, Tbilisi.
Alright, that would be my partner there, who is the instructor. That'd be Hendo. He's in 901. Let's see if we can kind of circle back here and take a look. Alright, and there he is. He's got like a 6 or an 8 under his name. Taking off. What I did forget to do, bad me, is change my own ID. I'm gonna leave my group as default for now. Let's check. Okay, there's Hendo. Okay, he's 3 right there. Let's see if we can kind of zoom in on him. He just took off. Okay. I'm gonna pull back the power a bit. Got a group of folks right there. It looks like they've already hit waypoint 1. That's great. We've got it set up so that waypoint 1 is a small helicopter sitting out on an open field. And if you're very curious on seeing that helicopter on last week's workshop, you can find that on Twitch, on my channel, or on YouTube. Boy, I'm forgetting all sorts of stuff. Pitot heat on. What made me think about the pitot heat was that you can freeze up. If it freezes up, you know, a lot of bad things happen. But one real obvious thing is the angle of attack sensor will freeze on you. All right, I'm gonna check the text chat. Looks like we're good to go there. All right, I think they're all they've headed off over to the second waypoint, which is a tank.
User in your channel timed out.
All right, we're at 10,000 feet. Just kind of hold it right there. As you can see, we're not loaded up with anything except for the targeting pod.
User entered your channel.
Recent traffic. Flight 100, flight of 4. Inbound from the north.
You know, the autopilot in this thing just works fantastic. It's not that it follows a course automatically. You can dial stuff in and you can follow the course. But what's really sweet about it is that right now I have it in a alt mode for altitude, and with it on, I can keep the bank angle. I've got it right here. It'll maintain that, and it'll maintain an altitude, and we can basically do an orbit pattern as long as we have fuel. And the nice thing about it is, here's our fuel flow gauge. I can actually bring this back to about 12 because of how light I am. And I'm looking at the angle of attack sensor here, and that little square there, that tells you that is endurance. And or I should say, that's you'll get the maximum distance out of your fuel, and the little triangle is time, endurance.
Recent traffic, flight 100, short final flight of 4.
You can literally be up in the air for hours upon hours. Okay, we got somebody over here, a couple guys over there, a couple over there. watching this guy right here. Was that 9 miles out? 9 miles out. Let's go over to our current sensor of interest. And let's go ahead and get rid of the map. And you can see here's these folks. Now, if they don't have their systems on for their data link, then they would not show up in here. So we still have to keep looking at a cockpit. That might be the, I'll bet you that guy there up in the air, I bet you that's the E2 we have flying around.
Tbilisi traffic, Holland 102 on final, runway 13 right, full stop to Tbilisi.
Alright, and we've got a guy here, and this guy, the reason there's a line from here to here is he has actually turned on his sensor point of interest. Now he's turned it off. But you'll notice, boy, if you can see this little wedding cake symbol. Zoom in if we can. You know, it's a 3-tiered wedding cake, even though his was a 2-tiered wedding cake. And that kind of shows that that was his target that he had set up. You know, let's see what that was. That was a... come on. Yep, that is the E-10C. It's out there. A-10, group 0301. Couple more. Now those guys are all. Let's do something kind of neat here. I go China hat forward, and now let's go China hat forward again. Get much more detail. And if you're wondering, hey, where's this area? Well, the map doesn't really show up. Let's see.
Show 3 is clear runway.
Now let's say that I want to hook onto this guy. I do TMS up short, and in theory, now I should be latched onto him, which means that let's go into a nice bank here. I can't turn my head that far.
This is 201 radio check.
201
You 5x5.
All right. So, yeah, cluster of folks up there. I'm not sure which one I got locked up. Well, I shouldn't say locked up. That's the one. All right, now I'm going to do TMS down short, and that will get rid of that line. And let's
Hog 103 clear runway.
let's get out of this mode here. Turn our map back on. Alright, we're going to be coming into the Tbilisi airspace, so I'm going to turn back on my lights. This little switch right there goes back. Anti-collision. And when the gear is down, the landing lights will turn on. We're going to slow down a bit here. We're just going to come into a left downwind. And there's our air brakes. You can see they're deployed. Tbilisi traffic Z64 is 3 miles north of the runway. We're going to do a full stop landing on 13 right, Tbilisi. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set those air brakes to about 40%. Seems to be good. There we are. We're going to put our gear down. Okay, we got 3 greens on the gear. Why are our flaps not down? There we go. Lights are on, we're looking good. Alright, let's start our turn. Kind of on a base leg here. A lot of these turns in these military aircraft are more ovals than they are squared off kind of rectangles. Tbilisi traffic Z64 is on final, runway 13 right, full stop. Okay, we're lining up with the runway.
Altitude, altitude.
Remember, we do have a wind that we need to compensate for. We're down. Putting in that left rudder. Try to keep it centered on the center line as much as possible. The speed brakes, by the way, are out 100%. I could turn off there if I wanted to really hammer the brakes, but okay, no need for the speed brakes out or the flaps. Flaps are going up. And the reason I do that is because I don't need the aerodynamic drag on any of that. I really want to just get to the end of the runway at a reasonable speed so that it's clear for others. Of course, as soon as we clear the runway, we'll make that call. Good time for me to check the text. Nobody has any questions? Alright, I'm lightly applying the brakes. Make sure my nose wheel steering is on. Whoa. That was because I was compensating for the wind. And I turned on my nose wheel steering without centering my rudder first. So take note. Alright. Tbilisi traffic Zoo 64 is clear of 13 right and taxiing to parking Tbilisi. Gonna go with our taxi lights.
201 is heading out finally.
Now see that call, 201 is heading out finally. I really have no idea what that meant. If so for folks watching the channel, it's a good idea to kind of make a call that, you know, more descriptive. Okay, we're going to cross the closed runway. I'm going to turn off.
User left your channel.
And we're going to check to make sure it's clear. Okay.
China, Springfield 2-1, request takeoff.
And again, we did a lot of the SPI, soy, and helmet mounted queuing system, and even the TGP last week. So that'll all be in the workshop. I kind of run through that course. Today is, you might think, well, it's kind of the same. Well, the reason is because we actually have pretty much 3 workshops on very, very similar subjects, because we really want the guys to get used to working with the A-10. There's a lot of buttons involved here and a lot of procedure. So the more we hammer on those really important topics, the better. Okay, so I'm going to go back to our parking.
Traffic, Hog 303, initial, entering the pattern with a left-hand brake for runway 13.
Now that right there was a very good descriptive call. I like that. Now let's see if we can turn this bird around.
Traffic 301, RTB, 10 miles out.
Without going into the dirt here. It doesn't have the turn of the F-18,
User joined your channel.
but we can manage. All right, here we are. So let's kill the engines here.
GPC traffic.
All right, I just did a really quick shutdown, very informal shutdown. Engines are still spooling down. But there you have it. You have a kind of an idea of just flying around today. There's a lot of it. So what we're going to do now is I'm probably going to end the stream and then go up a channel in TeamSpeak, and we'll do a debrief with the guys. And if you guys ever want me to stream the debrief, then I certainly can. We do have a question in the stream. Calavera Loco, are you in VR? If yes, your stream seems less twitchy compared to a lot of other VR streams. I'm wondering how. Hey, Calavera, if you're still in the channel and you're still watching, I would love to show you what that is, what we're doing there. And so if you're still watching, acknowledge this and I'll walk you through it. Otherwise, I'll maybe do that on a different stream, but I can definitely show you today what's going on. Oh, look at that. There's somebody. Now that's a good procedure right there. What they're doing, they're about 1,000 feet. AGL, look at up here comes their another person in their group. These guys are doing great. I love to see this. And you'll watch, he's going to also do a, well, hoping, maybe. Anyway, what they're doing is a brake turn. And so they come in about 250 knots. Yep, there he goes. He's doing his brake turn, and we should see, there's the other one. What they do is real good procedure. Running down the field, make sure there's no debris on the runway, everything looks good, and he does a brake turn. That really slows down the aircraft. Here we go on the downwind, and I don't know if you can see in the stream, but there's a guy way out there. That's the one that did the brake turn, and then he'll follow suit to the same pattern that we did and land the plane. And we've got a lot of different varieties of folks that proficiency of folks here, and that one for a lot of you, that was actually pretty good from what I could see. Now let's see. Okay, so Loco, you are on the channel. Good. I am going to take the headset off. I will be back in 30 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Let me go to my middle monitor here so you can see this. One of the things I do with the VR, it really helps out, is first off, I'm using the Rift S. And you probably see that in the stream. I think on the Twitch page, it'll show the hardware that I've got. The Rift S, I think, does a fantastic job. If you really want a little more clarity, the HP Reverb number 2 is the one that you want to go with. So first off, I'm going to get out of the game here. I lost my mouse. Let's close DCS. Of course, I should have closed it while I was in VR, but we'll do it a different way here. Okay, you probably have a black screen is what you're looking at. And what we're going to do is I want to, come on. Everything works until it doesn't, right? Yeah, there is a trick here. I'm trying to. Let's go reset settings. There we go. Okay, so I hope I'm pronouncing this Calavera. Is that correct? Is it? Are you used to the Oculus Mirror app? Have you seen that? Okay, you have. Good. So all right. So you know where it's at. Run that app, and then this. I'll show you the trick here. For most of the folks that are streaming, what they're doing is they're loading this app, they maximize it, okay, and then that's what they stream. And okay, that works. But as you noticed, it's definitely jittery, and mine is by far also not perfect. But here's how I made it quite a bit better. Let me bring up a
Hi there, and welcome to
web
this new
page
video
here.
of the
Okay,
ministry.
I brought up a Chrome page and the video started. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to do a search here. Rift S streaming settings. Let's see if I can find this. Upload VR. Wouldn't you know? This could be it. Nope. This I don't believe was it. This just shows you how to get set up. Okay, and that's using some more hardware. It was on the Oculus. It was a page on the Oculus support page. We'll find it, don't worry. Oh, this is looking, okay, this is it. All right, I'm gonna post this page for you. Copy, and paste. There you go. Okay, so when you read through, this is an area you probably wouldn't have normally found, and I just found it by accident one day, and it talks about the Oculus Mirror and a lot of the different settings. Okay, so go to the very bottom of this page, and you'll have this area here. And here's what I do, is that you capture, I'm assuming you can set up a shortcut, and launch a program and all that. If not, I can crochet, capture all of this information. Hold on 1 second, I'm being pinged. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Okay, these are the options that you're going to pass to Oculus Mirror, all right? And you'll notice, well, that's not my screen size. Well, it's your screen size of your Rift S, and then you have some other things, and essentially this is doing a bunch of different stuff, which, first off, there's two things that happen, Calavera, is that you'll get the black bars on the side of the screen, so when you move your head left and right, you'll notice that those will come and go, and they're super, super annoying. You'll notice that on the streams a lot, and you just try to minimize that. It's actually still there, it's just off screen. And that has to do with a lot of things. A lot of it is this field of view, okay? And realize you are cutting off a little bit of the display. So for the viewers, this is not, well, this will not affect your Rift S, what you're seeing at all. But what this will do is that it'll have a slightly zoomed in effect. But what it's doing is it's taking what it's going to show you as kind of a window of the Oculus Rift. So it takes a window kind of like this. Okay, if you can see my mouse moving around. That's one thing to just remember on that you are a bit more zoomed in on the stream, but it's not bad actually. So once you launch Oculus Mirror, and I have this through a couple different things. I use a product called Voice Attack right here. And what I do, I'll go here. And I know I'm kind of jumping around on you, and I apologize. If there's anything that's not clear, man, just ask. I set up a key so that I can start and stop streaming. And when I say start and stop streaming, what it's doing is that it's actually going through and it is starting up the tools that I use for streaming, which is not complex at all. But what I do is I start up the Oculus Mirror. All right. Now you'll notice that I don't have any of those parameters I just showed you at the end of this. If you're going to use a shortcut, that's how you would launch it. For me, for Oculus Mirror, I do something a little different. I throw some keystrokes at the Oculus Mirror app. And so what are those keystrokes? Okay, we were done here. Let's close that. The keystrokes come up to File and they say Load. So what I've done is I have taken, let me do this. I've taken this line and I've run this once, okay? And what that does is it will have the effect of applying all those settings to the Oculus Mirror. And so you get something that looks like this, all right? But what I do in the Voice Attack is instead of having the shortcut to that, when you run those settings originally and you run your shortcut, save them, okay? And then if you come in here and you give it an L, okay, it just loaded all the settings. So I'm set, ready to go. And you notice that the title bar is gone. It's gone to this, full screen. And I'm going to switch. That's my middle monitor. I'm going to switch over to VR. And when I switch over to VR, I know it's thrilling to look at a black screen here, but you'll notice that the VR, between the middle monitor here, I have that bar at the top, no big deal. But in the VR, it captures the whole inside. Now, there is one more trick to be aware of. And that is, let's reset all this. that, and it's not mentioned in that article. Okay, and this is the one that I actually found that does the best. So the in that web page, you're going to find that the field of view will get rid of the black bars, but it has nothing to do with stabilizing the image. And I found this one day. It's under settings, and it's called image stabilization. And to enable it, it's F8. Now, when you load the settings, hey Logo, thanks for the follow, really appreciate it. You guys let me know. I do a lot of simulation games, and with a group, Digital Theme Park. Man, whatever you guys want to see, let me know in the text chat. Okay, so after you load the settings, this will save as well. And in this parameters, I believe it defaults to, I think it defaults actually to narrow, but I found that a mild, again, it's going to zoom in even a little bit more, but it's doing an image stabilization calculation. I find that mild, it does something. I start to see some of the black bars again. Narrow seems to do it just fine. Wide is just too zoomed in for me, but you can play with them, right? So I use narrow, and then this will be enabled. So let me show you what happens when I load the settings. And again, I know I'm doing things a little differently, where I'm using voice attack to send a command to the window, but you can do this through the command line. But here's why I deviated from that. Image stabilization through the command line, I searched high and low. I could not find a way in order to use a command line to enable this. So the only way I did this was through the load. So we're going to load this. I'm going to go back up to settings, and you'll see now image stabilization is enabled. And it saved all this off. It's fantastic to do it that way. So that is essentially, that's the trick. And that's how it's definitely, is it perfectly smooth? No. And I'm a little twitchy with my head movements anyway, but it definitely helps quite a bit. So I hope that helps walk you through it. And I realize that was a little more long-winded than you wanted it to be, but there you have it. And if you want to see more of what we're doing, man, just subscribe to the, no, I may be using the wrong, get the auto notifications for the channel, subscribe, whatever they call it in Twitch. I stream to Twitch and YouTube, so I always get those mixed up on what those are. But and anytime I stream, I do a lot of flight sim stuff, civilian flight sim, the new Microsoft flight sim. Sometimes we'll do some farming and some of the driving games. But yeah, that's how it's done. And you're probably off and running already, but if you are still watching, by the way, voice attack, I think it's like $12. And it essentially was designed originally to recognize your voice, and you give it a command. Man, I've got it set up for the DCS A-10. I could sit there and tell it, put my gear up, flaps up, or you can give it I can give it a Spotify command. It's really, really cool. But the capability now, it recognizes your stick, throttle buttons. It'll recognize keystrokes. It's more than just a voice control program. But I also have something where it'll run through. And man, it's a real easy script. I just close these 4 items. And I realized, hey, I could just go through and click on the X's, and close things and all that. But it just makes it so quick to do it like this. So I really hope that helps. And with that, for the folks that are watching, unless there are no, hey, yep, and thanks for the follow. And again, if I get into a stream and we're cruising along autopilot on Microsoft Flight Sim or something, feel free to jump in and say, hey, I'd really like to see you stream. Do you have this game? Can you really stream, this? And we'll do the best to stream that for you. But yeah, I hope that helps. You've got the web page there. And I am so grateful that the Oculus developers threw this out there. It really helped out. Honestly, could I have found this on my own or come up with these settings on my own? Probably not. So yeah, really grateful. So there you go. Shout out to the Oculus folks. Which VR headset do you have, Calavera? And while you're doing that, I am going to close the Oculus software. Oh, now I'm kind of closing all this stuff manually. Okay, I don't see any more text chat from Calavera, so he's probably left the channel. Oh no, I still see you there. The Index. Okay, you've got the Valve Index. That is a good headset. That's a very, very good headset. So you're still using the room scale tracking pods, if I remember correctly on that one. But very good clarity. And those tracking pods, we did a lot of work with the Air Force and the Navy on setting up several VR labs with those guys. And even though at the time they were using, let me think here, they were using it wasn't the Oculus product. Oh, it was the other one that was real popular back then. But anyway, they were using a different one and had those tracking pods. And for just sitting in a seat and flying a plane, just having them right in front of you, left and right, like they suggest, is good. If you do any room scale stuff, and you only have 2 of those, right? 3 is better, but if you only have 2 and you do room scale, we found the best setup was you put one in the upper corner of the room, and then opposite that corner, way down low. And then we found it actually picks up with just 2 sensors really, really well. So that's for room scale stuff. And anyway, so there you have it, man. I'll be streaming later today and hopefully something fun. I'm by no way perfect at any of these aircraft that I fly, so you get to see the mistakes that I make, and hopefully it makes you a better pilot. All right, so I'm going to end the stream right there and go do the debrief with the guys. Hope you enjoyed it.